right.
Shout out to the cameraman. What's up, man?
Yeah. We got a little man in the building for this one. But all right. Let me go ahead. All righty. Welcome back to the Lyrically Acclaimed Podcast.
You know.
Today's going to be a little bit different because we don't got one of our brothers with us today. But,
yeah,
you know, I'm your boy Ill-Minded Tazz. And I'm with the one and only Archie, man.
What's up?
Archie boy.
Yeah, Uncle D couldn't make it today, you know. Family things going on.
Family emergencies.
But we are always going to keep the ball rolling.
Of course.
No matter what. No more breaks, no more slow downs, no more sit downs and waits.
We going to keep going with this one. You know what I mean? We got to do what we got to do to make this, you know, the number one podcast.
Yeah, we're going to keep pushing.
That's a fact.
And if y'all are noticing, we are on camera for the first time.
We made it to the visuals, baby. We told y'all. Mm-hmm. We told y'all we was coming. And look where we at. We finally got it together. So you know what's about to happen. It's about to be different moves being made.
Yeah, we slowly building and upgrading. We're gonna be moving forward a lot. Hopefully within the year, next 2 years. Mm-hmm. You'll see one camera. Next thing you see two cameras. You know,
we just gonna keep building.
We also got the thing that we're pushing hard right now is the tailgate sessions.
Yes, sir. Y'all gotta go check that out. Tailgate sessions. If you haven't seen, we already have 4 clips out of it, giving y'all little sneak peeks on previews of songs that we're working on. Sometimes it's just little verses. You never know what's gonna happen next, but. Mm-hmm. Y'all gotta check that out too. Tailgate Sessions is out here too.
Right now, we've only been posting them on the book, but I think it's time we put them on YouTube.
Of course, you know that. Mm-hmm. It's about that time. We gotta.
He said. I mean, D said he set it up. YouTube and stuff. Yeah, we need to throw all of them on there.
I think he set everything up already. So, y'all need to go check that out. Tailgate Sessions out there, of course. Check us out on the Lyrically Acclaimed YouTube. Go check that out too. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And you know. Just keep on coming back. Keep on coming back.
Yeah.
So what to do, Archie? What's been up?
Man, I don't know, man. Life been up, bro.
That's a fact.
As you know, we've been working like some
dogs.
Yeah. I was gonna say slaves because that's what it kind of feel like.
Yeah, we've been working crazy hours.
Yeah, been tired. Facts. Today wasn't a bad day. I was just tired because I got in last night about 2.
Yeah,
and I stayed up to 4 in the morning. I stayed up to 4 on some bullshit, just listening to music. Having a sip or two.
Yeah,
regaining all those hours I had to drive to jail late at night. And I stayed up, and I was just tired today. But we had a good day. We took the kids over to Gaddy Land and let them eat pizza and run around, act the fool, burn some energy.
Spend that time with your family. You know what I mean? That's what's up. That's what's up.
We took baby girl over there to see the house, and we let her know our other news, so she knows now.
10-4.
Yeah, she's excited about that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's
what about
up.
you, my boy?
Well, working. You know what I mean? Trying to get things together. Trying to make different moves, you know what I mean? Trying to find a new place and upgrade. But besides that, you know what I mean? Just working. I can't even say 9 to 5 because it's not 9 to 5.
Hell no.
It's working from 8 to whenever the hell I get off. So
when did you get home the other night?
Man, I think it was 8 to 9 yesterday. Today was the earliest day, 8 to 2. At least I saw 2 today. Mm-hmm. But yeah, 8 to 9. Shit, it's just been a hell of a roller coaster, but it's all for the good cause. It's all for a better, you know what I mean?
Yeah, some days I be wondering like how much this job
takes
away creatively, from me, because I be so worn out, and then I get home and I want to sit down and write or do something, but I'm like, I want to bullshit.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of this one, dude. Learning it from the past, I've been doing this going on 3 years, 2 years. It takes away because really and truly, you be sitting in the truck from the beginning. You probably have ideas, and then once you step out that truck to your first rig, or wherever your job location is, that's when things get to you forget all what you was thinking of, and then you just focus on that to the point that you ain't even thinking about the music no more. You just thinking about the job and then how tired that you want to get home. And then by the time you get home, you gotta come and give family time for however much you can give family time, and then after that, music gets, you know what I mean. So you gotta find that balance, and it's kind of hard, especially on our schedule. It's kind of hard, and that's the truth about it. Like,
yeah,
if we had it on a regular, then it'd be different. If we had that time to just people got lunch break. Who barely got that?
That's right.
Yeah, you got a lunch break. You could probably write some stuff if you get free time. But man, working in the oil field, what the hell is free time?
Yeah,
free time is whatever you can make it. Free time for us is you better do it in that truck while you driving wherever. Pay attention and put on a beat and shoot the shit.
I've been noticing, like, the more stuff I have going on outside of my music and like just life period, just in life, when I have a lot going on in life, it seems like my creative side kind of tones down and I'm not as on point. But I think it's because like right now we got 1,000 things going on top of trying to get into a new place. We're also trying to figure out everything and get our schedules lined up so we can do this.
Yeah.
The job is crazy right now. We don't know when it's not going to be not crazy.
Yeah.
Other stuff with me and my girl personally that we got going on. Trying to, when there's just it's like, dang. And I try my best to use that as inspiration, I guess, for writing. But then at the same time, when I'm writing, like I was telling you the other day, I'm really trying to work on being more fun in my music, because I make a lot of deep songs. All my songs got messages, this and that. So it kind of contradicts, but maybe I'm just kind of like making it hard on myself, kind of in that aspect, because I'm not just taking what I got right there and I'm not using it, and I'm over here forcing myself to try to do something. I may have just had an epiphany, guys. Maybe just do what comes natural, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'd see some more stuff coming. And it's not like I don't got a phone full of songs that I can lean on in this time period, but I feel like if I'm not creating, I'm slacking.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You're not putting in that work.
Yeah.
So when you're not, no matter what, you always want to put that pen to pad or text message in the notes, and you just want to keep going. You're listening to new beats, and you always want to keep working, because it's like one of them things you don't want it to die down when you don't use the skill no more. Because at the end of the day, especially in this game, you have to be sharp with the pen. You have to be sharp with your words. You have to do all that, and you don't want everything to, the minute that you stop, you feel like you either slowing down. It feels like the lyrics ain't coming. It feels like nothing is clicking no more like it used to, because you gave that time, or you put that time away. It's like the analogy of like when you, like if you watch wrestling and when them wrestlers go away, they call it ring rust, because you feel like they've gone for a year, 2 years, months. Do they still got it? Can they still work the ring? And that's like the same thing for us.
Oh, did you, speaking of wrestling, not to change subjects, so like a hard turn. This is a hard turn, but so John Cena's a bad guy now, huh?
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, I saw that. He done turned heel, huh?
He done turned heel.
Oh, Lord.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. We gonna do a little wrestling nerd out, especially for
come here, because I want to know, because I know you got it.
As crazy as it is, as you can tell, The Rock already did his heel turn and told himself like, the final boss. And
wait a minute, slow down real quick. So The Rock then became a bad guy.
Yeah, The Rock.
So did he start out as a bad guy?
Nah,
then went to a good guy.
So, all right, let's see if we could slim this down.
Okay.
This all started last year. Roman Reigns was on top at WrestleMania. Roman Reigns, they brought the whole thing with the bloodline. Bloodline has all the Samoan family because Rock and Roman, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, all of them is family. So when it started with, they had the big announcement for WrestleMania after Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble. Who was Cody going to face? Rock wanted to face Roman to make it the biggest WrestleMania main event, WrestleMania 40. Cody Rhodes came in. Cody Rhodes said pretty much, fuck that. I'm going after Roman. I'm finishing my story. He beat me last year. I'm coming back to finish this shit. I'm going to whoop his ass this year. Rock didn't like that. Rock and Roman, because they're family, they was like, this is supposed to be that. We keeping it within the family. No matter who wins or lose, keeping it in the family. So what happened? Rock smacks Cody. Rock becomes what you call the final boss. Because as anybody knows, The Rock is on the board for TKO. TKO is the pretty much the foundation that combines, UFC, WWE, and all them. They came together.
Oh, for real?
Yes. And they came TKO, and he's on that board. Pretty much he is the boss's boss type shit. So he called himself the final boss. He turns into pretty much the heelish character you could ever seen. Sat up there, he went back to heel rock. Him and Cody going after it. Roman and Cody going after it until it came down to WrestleMania. WrestleMania came in. Roman loses. Well, you come fast forward, going again now. John Cena claims that this is his final year. This is his final run. This is his farewell tour. And he comes in, loses the Royal Rumble. This is where things get a little bit weird. Because Cody is champion and The Rock is trying to ask for this man's soul type shit. It gets kind of weird. It feels like you're watching a video game play out.
Oh, yeah.
On some shit. Like on some, I want your soul. I want your mind. I want everything. You're going to be my champion type shit. On some real, when you think about it, he really on some final boss villain shit. Like, you're going to be my champion. If you, like people say the Illuminati type shit. If you side with me, I'm going to give you the world. But if you don't side with me, you're going to see what happens. Which turns out, the speculations of it is, comes in, John Cena wins the Elimination Chamber. John Cena does a real, because I watched it today, does a real, I'm cheering for Cody, da-da-da-da-da, yeah. When Cody said, fuck you, Rock, pretty much, this is it. I ain't siding with you. They gave a praise. Rock did the signal to John. John did that smile, turned into a frown, looked that man in the face, kicked him, and then he turned heel. He turned heel. And it's like, everybody's like, huh. So we see who really sold their soul, because if John Cena wins, he beats the infamous Ric Flair's record and becomes the only 17-time WWE champion in the history of WWE.
See, I seen a TikTok of him. I don't know at what point in all that this was, but he was holding up a belt and they were standing in the ring and he had this just look on his face. And then I want to say The Rock was in there in the ring,
and they had Travis Scott there.
So Travis Scott leaning up against the ropes.
Yeah, this was last night.
What Travis Scott got to do with any of this?
Travis Scott is the theme for WrestleMania. His song "Fiend" is the theme song for WrestleMania.
Oh, for real? Okay.
Yes. So that's the theme when they go to Las Vegas, which, if anybody knows WWE, it kind of makes sense with the Las Vegas vibe, where you give me a soul thing. Is like everybody's taking a risk and a gamble because we're going to Las Vegas. Pretty much Rock is telling you, I could give it to you all if you take this risk with me, or you take the risk out here. So it kind of makes sense with the whole theme of this. There's a bunch of lores behind it. Seeing if there's, if John Cena's 3 because he put up the 3 when Cody and Roman, teamed up together last year, and he put up the 3. So when it comes down to it, they're saying the 3 signifies Cena, because that's what Cena puts up. And they're saying the 2, and they're trying to figure out who puts up 2, the peace sign or whatever. So they're trying to put 2 and 2 together, and they say 1 is going to be Roman Reigns. So they're trying to put all these things together to see what is The Rock's biggest plan.
Okay.
So that was a quick nerd out a little bit, but yeah.
No, that shit's informative. What this shit makes me want to do is start watching wrestling again. I ain't gonna lie.
But it became entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. It's for the past, because the biggest story of line of it, the Bloodline had 4 years run as a big storyline. Roman Reigns held that champion for 4 years. And since 2020, 2025, since 2020 all the way up to 2024, he held that championship and he was dominant as a champion. So he's like the storyline just keeps building, and then there's all the storylines inside WWE that is making it more interesting. It may not be Attitude Era, Stone Cold, Triple H era, Undertaker where he turned bad. It may not be that era, but what they call it, the Paul Levesque era, Triple H's era, it's kind of interesting because he's bringing back that element in the PG lane. Mm-hmm. They've crossed lines. They've done some things like, what was it? I think it was Royal Rumble when Cody Rhodes faced Kevin Owens. That was a brutal match. I'm looking at these guys like, God damn, y'all gotta be, because the way how brutal that whole match went through, you have to be one psychotic tough son of a gun to do WWE, but you got to give it to them. So they're bringing in back that element where it's not lackluster. It's not like, oh, it's the same old thing. They're really trying. You could tell that they're pushing it, the boundaries, especially the females and the males. They're really pushing the boundaries and trying to make sure things. Plus, the way they've been going internationally, the way they've been going on streaming service, because it's on Raw's on Netflix, SmackDown USA. They got connection with Tubi on another one.
Yeah.
A&E, YouTube, because the one on Tubi Evolve is with YouTube too. So you could tell they're really going heads in with this whole situation. So they're making it a big thing.
I'm surprised the shit's still around. I mean, and just from the simple fact, because I remember when I was young, it seemed like wrestling was kind of in the same place. It was the number one thing still, right? And then as I got older, me personally, I kind of moved away from it. But it seems like now I see it everywhere. Like it's more, it's they're marketing the heck out of it.
Because now they tapping into something like sports, like regular sports, in the sense of they're getting athletes from anywhere. Pretty much, if you're athletic, they will go to schools, NCAA, they watching you, they're paying attention. They're doing the scouting just like everybody else is at this point, because at the end of the day, as the time progresses, the talent is growing. And you've got people that step into the ring, like, for instance, Logan Paul is part of wrestling. And out of a lot of the people that came in, I can't say the man ain't doing good. He's actually actually dope in this industry. So he's doing what he got to do. And so you could tell that they're grasping from, if it's NCAA, if it's really wrestling, if it's, somebody that could be athletic in, track and field, but even all around the world, they internationally, because like I said, the Asian community has built between Io Sky, Asuka, Kairi Sane, Shinsuke Nakamura, and they have more. So you could tell they're building that up from whoever's athletic, and they're trying to build that community, which makes a revive for WWE, which makes a revive for wrestling itself, for people to come back and be interested. And that's what I said, with Triple H being at the helms of this whole thing and really painting the picture and the stories of what's going on, it really brings a reemergence of what a lot of people missed in wrestling. It doesn't feel like how can I put it, too, I'm not going to say cringy, but it doesn't give you that, do I really want to watch this? It's boring. This again. Like, it's not giving that, because you never know what can happen. Players, and then now they've merged with another wrestling, TNA, so they got their people merging, coming in.
I remember TNA back in the day. They've been around for a minute,
too. They've been around for a minute, and so now they merge with them. They have a partnership with them, so now you got TNA wrestlers coming in WWE wrestlers going to TNA. So now that's bringing more to both shows when you're surprised to see both of them. So it's bringing that community back, where a lot of people, and hell, with this going, say, you'd be surprised how many celebrities are watching wrestling now. Like, you got Vanessa Hudgens was one of their main ones that I was watching, of course. What's his name? Arnell, the one that plays your favorite show, Arrow, Green Arrow.
Oh yeah.
He's a big wrestling fan, so he pops out, and there's a few others like
for real though, because like honestly, that's what I'm saying. Because like a few years ago, I just felt like the wrestling scene was kind of almost like hip hop. It was like, all right, y'all doing what y'all do, but you know, and it's almost like just like hip hop this year. Like in the last year, it just kind of made a rebrand and a reemergence.
Yeah. And that's what they've been doing. And like you said, just like hip hop is, everything has to reemerge to a point where it's like, all right, we got tired of the same old, same old. Mm-hmm. All right, we understand. Until you realize, how can I move forward? You know what I mean? What's the best way to move forward? So I feel like in the wrestling aspect, the best way to move forward is who can you put into the helms of doing that? And you brought a guy that, literally speaking, was a wrestler. He understands the game a little bit better. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He understands how this should go, and he understands what it means to put somebody over and how to create a story. And he's been doing this position for a while, but now as him being in the forefront now, you could see it shine. I know a lot of people don't like it because they go like, oh, Triple H ain't really thing. But if you think about Triple H, brought back a lot of people that got fired through COVID and all that type of stuff, and he brought them back into the helm. Like Braun Strowman was one of them. Megastar, he's dope, and he brought him back. There's a lot of people that came back through that after Triple H took control, so it made sense. So that's why I said, like, and the way I feel like he thinks is that the fact of the matter is, instead of just doing a 1-2, like, oh, we do this quick beef, we're done. He's letting it build. Let the story build. Let the story keep building. No matter if they have a match this week, they don't have a match. Let's go ahead and let the story build. Let's have a confrontation. Let's do this. Let's do that. So it brings back the interest in what's happening.
You know what? And that low key. All right, I might get into my conspiracy bag here.
Go ahead.
All right. It's not too crazy of a conspiracy, but what if, like I said, kind of like hip hop, they're doing all this? Because remember, look, the year 2023, hip hop was at its lowest. Right? So 2024 happens. Beef. All year was about beef. We already covered this ad nauseum.
Numerous of times, yeah.
But what did it do? People who ain't never really cared started getting back into it.
It brought entertainment.
And hip hop's been on top of the billboards
since.
Yeah, like,
because it's like we said, it's just like anything else. You don't want to see the same thing over, bro. You don't want to see the same thing over.
Look, this is where it gets conspiratorial. All of this shit's planned. All of this shit's planned on some level because hip hop was losing money. Record labels were shutting down. How to get people reinterested, streaming numbers and album sales and all that stuff. Why not have the two best motherfuckers in the game? The three best, because, you know, again, we've covered this 1,000 times. Why not have them open up the reins, let them do what they do? Basically, my point is, there's somebody behind this.
The scenes.
Which, could it be Lucien?
Yeah.
Pitting everybody against each other. He could be doing an old Vince McMahon move.
It's a win-win for him at the end of the day. It's a win-win for him.
It's a win-win for hip-hop, too. It keeps us in. So I was wondering, because I've been thinking about it for a while, because I was like, damn, I remember all the articles. Is hip-hop dead? This is the first time in a long time hip-hop hadn't had a song on the top of the charts in this amount of summers and da-da-da-da-da. Even Drake was doing bad. And you know what I'm saying?
The number one guy.
Kendrick's album, Mr. Morale, it did numbers, but it didn't do the numbers he's used to doing. Everybody sells. I mean, the biggest thing that was going on, we got Ice Spice out of 2023, if I'm not mistaken, and we got a lot of drill music, but that's all underground technically. You know what I mean?
But even when you think about that, Ice Spice, the drill music that was building, it still didn't give you that hip hop feel, because when you think about it, she came in like a lot of the females during that era came in on the same kind of we talked about it, the same kind of a wavelength, where what they called it was, they say pussy rap or whatever the case may be. So it was really I'm gonna do something easy to get in. It wasn't like before, like we said, it wasn't based off of can you really spit? What makes you different? What makes you unique? What is your story? What do you really bring into the table? It's more of a, I see you, and in her case, you're a good looking person. You got a body. You could semi do something. Let's put you on camera, and that's just my opinion on it. Instead of it being about the skill of it, instead of it being about the story, like, and all that. So and during that timing, as you can tell, even with drill music came into a point where all the thing they were talking about was killing your ops and damn it.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Look, my thing is, right, I feel like that's kind of like a symptom of what the problem was, right? Because if you think about it, hip hop had become so mainstream. It lost its edginess. Yeah. It was another product. It just became a product. It became a vehicle for money, basically.
As I said, it became lucrative.
Yeah.
In a way where, this is what I've said before. When you compare it to when Nori and them came in the game, when Noriega and them came into the game, they could say my first biggest check was $12,000. And you, of course, back in the 90s, $12,000 is still a lot, but it don't match up to $1 million. It don't think. So with them now, when they came into the game, they had to prove and they had to scratch and claw to get up there. They had to scratch and claw to get that meal. They had to go and put in the work. They had to go to different towns and cities to make themselves be known, because at the end of the day, we didn't have the devices of internet. We didn't have all of that. They still had to scratch and claw to make their way. They had to go through the states, prove themselves in the states, and prove to everybody, yo, they're legit. They can do this thing. When you fast forward to this era now, yes, like we said last time, was things made easier with the technology, accessing DSPs and everything? Yes, it was easier. But the thing about that was, you had to take away something. And what take away was, you made everybody could become an artist, and it made it more easier for these people to access that the fact of the matter is, all they have to do is set a trend on TikTok, on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. And if somebody realizes that, oh, this person is getting traction, they don't sit up there and go through the ringer with them. They offer them a deal where it could be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mil straight off the bat, instead of them earning it. Instead of them earning their stripes in this shit, they have to get that. And now that they got it, what is there to really gain? You know what I mean? There was nothing there for them to go like, yo, okay, I'm gonna give you this deal here, and then maybe this, or we're gonna work on you with this. I like what you have, but let's work on you. Let's work on your penmanship. Let's work on something. Like, give them a team behind them. Like, I like this, but can we add more? Can we do something more? Can you? What more can you give?
Get back in the booth.
Get back in the booth. They don't have. It's like, it feels like we had a bunch of, yes, man. Yeah, this is hot. This is nice. You know what I mean?
Because I kind of understand, like, on some level, because I was talking a lot of mess last podcast. I was a little in my bag and I was a little tipsy, talking mess. But I first off, I seen something today by David Banner, and it made me think. So to kind of like sum up what he was saying, he basically was saying, you know what? We weren't there for the younger artists when they were coming up, because we were too focused on doing this, that, and the third. So we can't be mad at the state of hip hop, because we weren't there to help them. They found their own way. They found their own sound. They found their own ways of doing things. They weren't there to, like, hey,
guide them.
Yeah, this is. Let me show you how to sit down and come up with a good song. So, or let me show you how to financially deal with this, or let me show you how to navigate the system. They weren't. So basically, he was, which I respect, but it made me think, like, yo, over the years, right? I like to consider myself an open-minded person, but sometimes I could be a very hip hop purist. Yeah, and I don't see anything outside of what I consider this, between these two borders. But what that made me think is, like, some talent grows kind of like Cartier. You know what I'm saying? Bro came out as one of the, like, he was came out in the young, like, Crash Out era where there was a bunch of where it all started, right? And now he's more of a lyricist and a penman, and he, you know what I'm saying? He's doing songs with Joey. He's doing songs with Cole. Like, he's just everywhere right now. You know, with Wayne. He's all over the map, Corday. And it makes me realize, like, me talking like I'm reckless or whatever about young talent, I never know where that's coming from. They didn't have the guidance like I kind of did. Which even me, I didn't really have guidance. I kind of just latched on to people who've done this before me, and then I kind of asked their suggestions, you know. But in the game of the big industry game, you can't be mad. And hold on 1 second. So I'm gonna tie this back into like SoundCloud, right? Because let's think about the SoundCloud era, which I kind of feel like predicted the TikTok era. Which, you know, because when there's no new talent coming in, where do you go? You go to the internet. You figure out who everybody's listening to, that underground sound, that new sound. Yeah. But I feel like at the end of the day, what mixed all that stuff, messed it all up, right? It's a two-pronged thing with this that led us kind of to where hip-hop's image was kind of dropping. I feel like it comes from just looking on the internet, right? Yeah, you're going to find whatever's popular. That's cool. That's how you got to find new talent. You got to find new talent. But streaming, with the way streaming works, it doesn't matter because, you know, that new talent could be making hundreds of millions of streams, but they're only getting paid this much. They fall off or they get into some crazy deal. But that also is because the OGs aren't there teaching them. But it also comes with these youngins. They don't want to hear what the OGs got to say.
That's what I was about to say, because you got to think about it. When you say Corday, you have to not understand. You have to look at it in a different light. Because just like we did, we didn't have, let's say, like a Busta Rhymes or an M or even like a Kendrick or Cole that's right there to guide us in the path that we've chose. But that don't mean you can't study. Yeah. That don't mean you can't go back and study the greats like, you know, Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One, the Rick Derula. That don't mean you can't go back and study these guys. You could go back. You know what I mean? It takes it as, how serious do you take your craft?
Which is true. How
serious do you see yourself? If you started at point A, how can I get from point A to point B? What do I need to work on? If this year I was out here storytelling and whatever, and you come and say, sometimes, you know, my hooks need to be different, or my words need to be sharper, or my wordplay needs to be different. It's up to you now as an artist, you know what I mean, to go ahead and work on your own craft. Take your time and work on your craft, because that's the only way you get better. If you give me, and which is the truth, you know what I mean, if you come in the game and you stayed as a rookie, but your rookie year, you was hot rookie year, but you play the same way as a rookie without learning something new, without studying the books, without go like, what mistake did I made here so I could elevate it next time? If you don't do nothing, why should somebody keep staying? Because the first thing they're going to say, just like what we say in WWE, the things get stale. Yeah. You know what I mean? Everything pretty much stays the same, and then what everybody's looking at you is like, oh, he's doing the same thing like last time. She's acting the same way like last time. I liked it on the first album, but you're now on album 2 or on album 3. You know what I mean?
There ain't no growth.
There's no growth. And that's why I say, yes, I get it. Like what David Banner said, they weren't there. But at the end of the day, all they're going to give you is the same advice that they probably got before. It's up to you to take the advice. It's up to you to hone in what they're saying and work on your skill as an artist. And that's how you grow.
I'm hoping like that David Banner thing is a sign that hip-hop is healing. Like, there ain't going to be no more issues between the youngsters and the old. Because I feel like that's what really did it,
like, right? A disconnect.
Yeah. The old heads in hip hop who helped lay the foundation, and then the generation that came in after them who helped start building the building, they were beefing with the newer generation who were slightly different. They wanted to experiment more, and I feel yes, change sucks for everybody. You know, some change is good, some change is bad, But you could see the game was changing, right?
Yeah.
You had people like X. You had NLE Choppa coming out. You got I remember when I first heard of Kodak. You know what I'm saying? You got people like Trippie Redd. You know, there was all types of different Juice WRLD. You got, and I bet you the old heads were like, "What the fuck is going on in hip hop?"
Yeah, that's a fact.
But you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you know, the old heads and the youngins didn't link. You know what I'm saying? So the tradition wasn't passed down.
Yeah.
So new traditions become created, and I feel like out of those new traditions, the people up top kind of like were more predatory. Mm-hmm. They came down and was like, you know what? Now we got guys coming out making like emo hip hop. It's almost rock. You can market this to anybody. You got guys like Juice WRLD. Yeah, don't f what he's talking about. Listen to his melodies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can market that to anybody. Stuff like that. Like, and then definitely young teenagers. Definitely when they're you going through that stage of your life, you don't know who you are. You don't know what you like. The world sucks. Your parents suck. You know, I don't know if I want to go to college. The government sucked. Everything.
Yeah, that period, yeah.
So, easy marketing, predatory, comes in, swoops in, takes the place of the old head, the tradition, the person who's the tradition's been passed to. The tradition no longer is getting passed down, and the only thing you got is this marketable thing. And I feel like, that's what created the downfall of what kind of is like what we understand is hip hop. You know, the lyricism, and because now it's not about the lyricism anymore. It's about, can I get you in this commercial?
Yeah.
Can I get you a shoe deal?
Yeah.
Can I send you to Europe and people know the lyrics to your song? If we take this song that you made for the club, can we play it in the club, but can we also put it on a movie? You know what I mean?
But you see, the thing with that though, and to me, where the industry is wrong is that the fact of the matter is you looking at now instead of future.
Yeah.
Because think about
money's made right now.
Yeah, money's made right now, but think about this way. You have a person like Method Man that started in the 90s and can still tour now.
Which,
you know what I mean? You have people like Busta Rhymes, which is still performing now, and he's been in the game for so long. You have people like Eminem. Hell, you have a lot of people like LL Cool J, Cube.
They doing they're doing a West Coast something not too far from here.
Exhibit, all these people. Wu-Tang is talking about they about to do a final album, final run. Like, when you think about that in the aspect of this, that's generational.
I also feel like maybe this is me thinking broad, and maybe this is the deep thinker in me. But I feel like those are signs, from my perspective. Let me put it like that. Because some people could look at hip-hop and be like, this is how it's always been. You know what I mean? But for me, I look at it like, I see an era ending in hip-hop, and I see some tradition coming back.
Yeah.
And like the signs of that is you got all these old heads popping out now, and they're making music, and they're going on tour. They're doing this and that. They're wanting to be in the light. You got rappers like Joey showing back up. You got rappers like Daylight, who never does anything big. He's popping out. These are signs that hip hop is fighting back. It's kind of what I feel.
And that's what I'm saying.
We're trying to stay. It's the thing that it is trying to stay alive, because I don't feel like there's nothing wrong with being mainstream. There's nothing. So if I put it into like the Drake and Kendrick beef type of point of view, right? Drake is more mainstream than Kendrick. Kendrick is mainstream. Don't get me wrong. Kendrick is a mainstream dude. Grammys, movies, all that stuff. But he is not as mainstream
as Drake.
Drake is top dog. He's the Taylor Swift of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows him. He's got some type of nobody can tell me they ain't had at least one song downloaded of Drake's. You know what I'm saying?
True.
One song from whatever album. You at least got one song, and you at least know that one song. So the difference, though, I feel like, is you have somebody who's more focused on the art, and then you have somebody who knows, I can make songs that get people in the vibe. Just like he was saying on that Party Next Door album. He said, fuck all this beef shit. I'm trying to get these bitches lit.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the party back lit.
You know what I'm saying? So like, there's two, and I don't feel like there's nothing wrong with that because hip hop is those elements.
Yeah.
You have to be able to turn up the. You want to be able to turn up the party. You want people to get it, but you also have to be a poet. You have to be an artist. You have to, and I feel like those identities. It's almost like a split personality.
Yeah.
Like they've split and they're battling for control. When at the end of the day,
you need both.
We need both, but we have to have control over our situation.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean? That's where the both comes in, because the both comes in. It provides longevity. Mm-hmm. When you realize it about it, that's why I say where the industry is at fault at some things, because going back to what we said earlier, when David Banner said they weren't part of that. But also, when you think about it, as the industry should have been there to guide these people too, to guide any artist, because you're looking for longevity. Why would I, and this is just me thinking on a business tip, why would I invest myself in somebody that only could get me money for this year but can't get me next year?
Yeah.
Why would I invest in somebody that's not willing to grow? Like, it's like investing in a bad business. If the business ain't growing, you ain't making shit. Mm-hmm. So that's the same way here. It's an investment. If you're looking for, and that's why I said the difference between then and now is their investments is still striving till now. Method Man, Redman, all these guys could go on stage now, no matter where they at, and they're gonna blow up the stage.
Yeah.
You can't say the same thing for a lot of these younger artists, because at the end of the day, they stayed the same.
Yeah.
There was no growth. There was no storytelling. There was nothing there. There wasn't no change in the lyrics. There wasn't no change in the type with the message. There was no change. It kept to the same. Don't get me wrong. They probably have one or two songs that probably dealt with something different, but really that one or two songs probably never made a significance in their careers.
Yeah.
So when you sit down here, when you think of, for instance, when you think of Sexy Red, when you think of Ice Spice, when you think of even, who can I say? I don't even know a lot of these drill rappers. You know what I mean? When you think of them, when you even say drill, the first thing that you think of is, oh, you talking about killing the ops. When you think of a lot of the female artists, what's the first thing you think of? Oh, they about to talk about how good they pussy is and all that type of shit. You don't think of other thing like, oh, she went through a heartbreak.
Yeah.
You don't think of, oh, he's talking about how his family was struggling and how he had to put food on the table for his thing. You don't think of these things, and that's the problem. You know what I mean? When you think of a lot of these artists, you already pinpoint them to certain subjects that you don't see the growth, and they kind of stay stagnant in that realm because that's really where they put them.
And honestly, I feel like there's two things going on with that, right? You got the artist who wants to stay relevant. They're doing their best to stay relevant, so they're going to follow whatever trend is next.
Yeah.
So the new hot dude on the block, they're going to do whatever they can do to sound or kind of imitate or get in their circle or get them as a feature or whatever, right? Whatever's new. And whatever is making them money, they're like, I need to make that money too, so I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Self-preservation. Everybody has it. Everybody thinks like that. But that also kind of leaves you in that space where you're always changing.
Yeah.
Constantly, there is nothing solid. And if every time you're changing trends, I don't think that you are leaving a lasting impression on people. Because me as an artist, I like leaving all my old songs to where I'm now. Just shows growth. Just kind of shows me. And for me, it shows me growth, and it's something for the people who listen to me too. They're like, "Oh man, I remember when he dropped this on. He is 10 times better than that.
Yeah,
he's getting more creative." Or, "Oh yeah, I like how he kind of relaxed a little bit, and he's just having fun." Whatever, but they're there for the ride, and I hope I have songs that touch people in certain ways, and that they can go and when they're 10 years from now, they can be like, "Man, that one song for Archie got me through some things." I can't say I have that moment with somebody like Sexy Red, right? Or like Yachty.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm just gonna say the young folks, right? Because the newer artists, right? Because Yachty, when's the last? I don't think I've ever heard Yachty talk about struggle or anything like that, or anything. Period. Like, even if it ain't struggle, just like getting over some type of hardship, you know, or something that sounds like a normal person, like, you know what I mean? It's always ice shining, this fashion, this, that, young boat, you know, whatever. But okay, so that's my first thing. My second thing is the fans, right? I feel like as people, fans of hip hop, our standards lowered, right?
Yeah.
Everybody, and partially, this is a deeper conversation, I think, for mentality, the way we think as people, and as African Americans, we are the people that consume the most hip hop, right? You know, but without us, it still wouldn't be there. So I kind of feel like our mind state changed, and I don't know if that was on purpose or it was just kind of the way we kind of walked into this wall. But we don't deep think as people anymore. I think, you know what I mean. And when we do deep think as people, it's only about what other people are doing to us. Mm-hmm. We don't think about the shit that we're doing to ourselves. We don't want to look at ourselves in the mirror. And again, how this equates with hip hop. Look, I mean, we can't our lives can't be based on partying and shaking ass and strip clubs and wanting to be the next Cardi B, whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? It's our spending habits. It's all this stuff, right? You know what I mean?
It became more glitz and glamour, keeping up with the Joneses.
We want to be the people we see on TV, but we can't. How can I put this? So we want to be like the people we see on TV, but we're still stuck in the same position we're in, and it's almost like we don't want to see it. That takes us focusing on whatever the shade room has going on, or whatever drama or whatever tea there is to spill. You know what I'm saying? It's that subtle distraction. And maybe it's because people feel like shit's never going to change. They're stuck to where they are. Everybody needs a vice, right? I understand that. But at the same time, when our music was talking about deeper things, we were also making bigger moves as people. But now that our music isn't, we're all honey hot, candied Hennessy flavored,
bro,
wings, and we're all fucking 20v1, and we're all worried about that creator doing that thing. Everybody can tell you what fucking is going on between Cardi and Offset, but they can't tell you anything out of a book from Malcolm X. You get what I'm saying?
That's true.
Which I don't want to be too broad. There are people out there who can, but I'm just saying, like, our mentality has changed and degraded over the years.
They said we are what we consume, and that's the fact. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, when you think about it, think about everything that revolves around that, from even the shows like Love and Hip Hop, from when you look at Black Ink Crew, when you look at a lot of these reality TV shows, the number one thing you see when you think about it is drama and fighting.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. You know what I mean? And even with the music became more about what I got, the shorty that I'm dealing with, what I'm about to be doing on these streets, and then it turns into, you know what I mean? So you are what you consume, and then when you live vicariously through that, you feel like, yo, if he could do it this way, I want to do it this way too. Like, you know what I mean? So it took that element of what you say when you look at like consciousness on it, and it turned into what we like to call it just a vibe, just catching that vibe. And now you could tell that the vibe is kind of over. The vibe is kind of stale because you're not keeping the same audience no more. A lot of these people that's listening to that is turning off the music. Sad to say, they turning it off because at the end of the day, as we get older, our minds change, our mentality change, and what you consume, if it doesn't speak positive to me, why the hell am I listening? Now, don't get me wrong, there's still people that's gonna, hey, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of even the youngins. There's a lot of the youngins that's in the 20s that's like, I could listen to that in the club. because that's what they playing. But outside of that, this is not the music that I'm listening to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to another genre. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go to rock. I'm gonna
going
go to
back to
country. I'm gonna go back to Taylor. I'm gonna go to pop. I'm gonna go even classic. I'm gonna go somewhere else because our genre of music
is only for the vibe.
It's only for partying and clubbing.
When I want to turn up, when I want to smoke. And don't get me wrong, I hear my girl. I love this girl, Glorilla. I love Glorilla. I won't ever talk bad about Glow. I wish one day I could meet her, do a song with her. She's a whole vibe, right? But I can tell she's deeper. Her album, when she dropped that album, she went a little deep.
She went deep.
But she stays all right. And I feel like I listen to her music and I hear some bars and I'm like, the talent is crazy, right? You get what I'm saying? Like, she's talented for a female rapper. I feel like the thing is, I don't know. Maybe the best way I could put it is, all right, what's so different between her and Doechii? Doechii is more artistic, right? Mm-hmm. And Glow is more for the street culture. And I feel like that's kind of what the real thing we have to. It's tradition versus
nuance,
new wave, right? So I feel like, all right, I could be marketable to anybody if I let go of some of these traditional things, right? Mm-hmm. I can make everybody can fuck with my music. Because when I say over the last few days on TikTok, there's this verse from Glow going nuts. There's a whole trend going on behind it. And I'm talking, it's not just black folks. It's not just women. It's men. It's white women, white men, fuck everybody, Asians, Hispanics. She's super marketable, right? She knows she's tapped into that whatever she got going on and it's making her thing, right? And then somebody like Doechii, in that same vein, she's got this big song going viral that people are doing these crazy edits to, and it also, I guess, to the point that I'm getting. If we can figure out a way to bridge the gap, because street culture isn't always black culture, but it's an arm in our tree, right? If we talk about what our culture is, it's an arm. There's an arm. There's a lot of stuff that come from street culture, streetwear, hell, if we be honest, hip hop. Hip hop comes from street culture, and that's probably why it relies so heavily on it. But there are also the traditional aspect of hip hop that didn't come from street culture. It's the aspect of hip hop that you were sitting down trying to make the best bars because you wanted to be the best.
That's what
it's competitive. Mm-hmm. It's a sport. It's in nature. Your crew wanted to be the best crew. You wanted everybody to come to see you and hear you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You wanted to be the ones that, if me and my crew, we had a talent show, we had the best bars. Everybody voting us up. We the ones getting the attention. So there's those two things, right? We just got to figure out the way to bridge the gap, because I don't think street culture is ever going anywhere. Definitely not in hip hop. And it's wrong to think that it would. But I also think we have to open our minds. And yeah, you can represent from where you're from, but we got to get deep. We got to start thinking again. And I feel like that ties back into the mentality of us as people, because us as Black Americans, all right, we can't just give up and say, fuck it, this is what they think I am, so I'm going to be that. We got to create. We still got to be that thing that generates the shit that we do, because hell, half of the shit in America wouldn't be here if there weren't black people pushing the lines.
No,
you know
true.
what I mean? And not to be on some super political
shit,
whatever motherfuckers want to call it, woke, whatever. Not to be on no shit like that, but it's the truth. We push the limits, definitely with creativity, with style, with art.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're not moving forward, nobody else is, because they don't got nothing to steal. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's why you hear country sounding more like hip hop. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This the way they do things. Well, certain parts of the mainstream country, let me put it like that. That's why you hear pop sounding I can't tell the difference between pop and R&B.
Yeah, because
hip hop, R&B.
Yeah, they merged a lot.
That vibe, it sounds the same. And it all stems from what we've done. And that's what I'm saying. It's like we're not pushing new limits, and we're not doing new things. So everybody's just taking what we're doing still, and just kind of like this is
what we're doing. This is it.
Yeah, we're all one. They're like, we're a big family, right? Yeah. But anyway, I think I done been on that. I done been on this for a minute now. But all I'm trying to say is, we got to find a way to bridge the gap between the thought process of the way these youngsters rule, and we got to bring us now that we're in our 30s, right? There's going to be youngins coming up. Definitely young rappers that we run into and stuff like that. And I feel like David Banner's right. I mean, hell, us as local people, right? Local talent. Mm-hmm. These young, we gotta reach down to them. We gotta show them, and we can show them like it's cool to be what you're doing. But let me show you something that's gonna step your game up.
Yeah.
Let me hand you this book that I read that made me think a little deeper about something, or let me teach you how we started a podcast, how we did this.
How we started
moving. Let me teach you how
yeah.
you should invest, or let me get you around some good people who are serious about music, who you'll even if you don't talk, you'll pick up some conversation around them dudes that'll make you think. Let's just get you going a little deeper, because you can't always and forever be this young crash out. And if
that's true,
your career will end and die off of social media like that. You're going to be the trend one day, and the next thing you want, and then you're going to be like Lil Pump out here trying to fight on in a ring now to still get, which kind of switch up. It's crazy how Cole predicted all of that shit, and that KOD. It's crazy how KOD. I mean, people don't like KOD. I mean, that's it. It's not high on the scale of Cole albums for me, but it is like at the same time like an impactful album, because he basically said, y'all niggas ain't gonna be around as long as I'm gonna be around, and he was right. You know what I'm saying? Y'all aren't doing it. And
you see, but that goes back to what we said. Cole studied. Cole looked at this as generational. Kendrick the same way. There hasn't been really a lot of people that could step into the lane as what they did. Drake came in the game the same way. I'm not going to take nothing away from him. Like I said the last time, I'm not a big Drake fan. Never have been. But I'm going to give credit where credit's due. He came into the game and he did the work. Did he do what everybody else did? Did he follow a trend? Yes, to stay relevant. That's what he did, just to stay relevant. But all three of them guys, no matter what, like you said, there's songs that you could go back to now that the fact of the matter is, between Drake, Kendrick, and Cole, that you could listen to from when they first started, you could listen to today, and another 10 years later. Mm-hmm. A lot of these other guys came into the game, like you said, Lil Pump. I don't even know a song from Lil Pump.
The only one I really know is that one he did with Kanye.
That's what I was about to say, song. And that was when he was in them big
I love it. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, when you sit down there and think about it, they went and transitioned into, if this is what I'm doing, this is my career, this is what I'm going, how can I elevate? What do I have to do to move forward? What do I have to do to stay in this lane and stay, you know what I mean, where I'm at, compared to, I'm just looking at the cash. Mm-hmm. I'm just looking at what they're giving me. I'm just looking at the now, and I made a viral song. I made a hit, and that's what got me here. And then, boom, you can't make a second one.
Yeah.
You can't make a third one. Yeah. You can't move forward after your first album.
I honestly feel like the chains that bind people in this industry that get big is the fame, how quick they blow up, and then the expectations of the art of the fans, right? I feel like, man, because, all right, so yes, say I'm Future. Mm-hmm. I've been making toxic nigga music for forever. Now, if I decide to change, niggas gonna look at me crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Niggas gonna look at me crazy. I'm kind of stuck doing this thing, but at the same time, I don't feel like an artist like Future sees anything. Like, he's like, shit, this is what's making me money. I ain't gonna change anyway. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But the thing with Future came into in a time period where I like to call it where we was doing that transitional period, where, like you said, mumble rapping and everything. Where you could say where not Travis Scott, when Young Thug came in, where the Migos came in, they had that little era where it was something new. Me, I like to say it as that's where people were just listening to the beats more compared to the song, because there's a lot of songs that you listen to, you don't know what they were saying. Yeah. But it was just that vibe and that beat. Which
was a lot of Young Thug.
A lot of Young Thug, you know what I mean?
Young Thug is what created
mumble rap. Yeah. And that's where they all came into that vibe where it was transitioning to where we were going now, where it was street, but it still give you a nice vibe where you could go to the party, you could sit up in your car, you could bump this shit because shit is nice or whatever. So with him, when you stay on that path for a while, especially, what was that? That was like 2010, 2011, around that era. When you stay into that path for a while, where that's where you was going for so long, of course, you know how to stay relevant. You know how to stay, because that's really what everybody was talking about.
You want to know something? I just thought about this, right? So I grew up listening to all types of shit, but my favorite shit was Boosie, right?
Yeah.
Boosie did this amazing job of making street records, but he would also make deep street records. And I feel like that's what's wrong, right? And it is, and it may be, it may sound like me repeating, but it's just me kind of like putting two and two together, right? The street guys aren't making deep street. Well, Kevin Gates, I guess, but Kevin even fell off. When was the last time you heard a new Kevin Gates song? You know what I'm saying? Or any like,
and see, and that's what I want to think.
And also Kevin Gates got real weird. He got real weird with it.
But you see, the thing with it is, I'm not gonna say. You know, it's crazy. We always say fall off, but what's crazy about it is that just like what we said about Joey, they're making music. They're just not hitting the par, or they're just not being showcased to us.
Yeah, right now they're not.
They're not being, because at the end of the day, Kevin Gates still made music. You know what I mean? He's still releasing under, I really don't know who he's under. I'm not gonna remember. I think it's his label. His label. He's made an album. You know what I mean? When he had Bad For Me and everything, he made an album. I think that was last year or the year before he made that album and stuff like that. They're still making music. But the one thing about it is, when you have your core friends that's searching for you, you're surviving. Yeah. Because that's who they're looking for. He went on tour. He does all that because your core fans is looking for you. But when outside of your core fans, nobody looking for you, it's like you're not in the sense of relevancy, because at the end of the day, it's only your fans. Yeah. So if it's like 100,000, 200,000, or even 1 million people, those are the only people listening to you, while the rest of the world don't even know what the hell is happening. Yeah. So that's where a lot of things are with the where I say my opinion of a lot of these people haven't fell off. It's just the fact that they're not in the forefront of what's happening, because they could either, the music that they're doing is just not hitting. Yeah. Or whatever.
See, look, you know what? And also dawned on me. Right. Fucking the best deep street niggas are like from Chicago, like Dirt and what's his name? Who? What's his other name? He came up with Dirk and them. He got the really deep voice. He always got the buzz cut. I always see him. I can't remember his name right now. But them Chicago niggas, they be making some, and it's not just candy bars, right? You know, it's not just some shit that's sweet to listen to. They be really talking about deep stuff and what happened, and like it's on real beats, but I be listening to them, like, you know what I'm saying, and they really talking pain, and they really talking struggle, and they really talking about like, this is where I used to be, and now I'm here, and now that I'm here, it's kind of like Big X the Plug. I think that's why. And if I'm gonna talk about like the reemergence of like hip hop and lyricism in a new way, because that's basically what I'm advocating for. It's like, let's take this and that and merge them together. Let's have and if you're gonna be a street dude and you write it, but don't forget this part. You're missing a key part. Add it. I think Big X the Plug is probably one of the best examples to me, because he's marketable mainstream, right? He got a sound. He got his own sound. He's unique, right? He's dropped this song. He's dropping this album that's pretty much a country album, but he's still doing his shit.
Yeah.
And and the best way I could put it, and this is just not because the man's from Texas, because if he was from Texas and he was ass, I would say he was ass. He has that ability to talk real, and it feels like the blues. He's bringing the blues back.
He's adapting.
Yeah, and I feel like it's the evolution of what blues music. And whenever people started adding blues into hip hop, I feel like he's kind of carrying that thing on his shoulders right now, because he's able to take these sultry beats that are old school samples and probably a lot of blues and R&B, old school R&B and soul music, right? And he's able to put these bars on them. He's talking about feelings, emotions, the struggles, but he's also flexing.
Yeah.
Which, you doing all that in one song, I can't be mad at it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you see?
And they're catchy.
You see what's going back to it is he's upgrading. He's working on his craftsmanship as he goes forward, because we won't be talking about him if he was still on the same thing from rookie year or his freshman year or his sophomore year. Yeah. He's working on his craft. He's moving forward. How can I move from I went from point A to point B. Went from point B to point C. Mm-hmm. Now, what do I got to go forward to go from point C to point D? What do I got to change? What is the things I got to talk about? What is more can I give them? Mm-hmm. And that's what he's doing. And you're stepping into realms, like you said, if he's tapping into a country album, but he's keeping it original to him. I'm doing something new with my spin on it. Yeah. And that's what keeps people interested. Yeah. That's what keeps people entertained. That's what keeps people wanting to come back for more. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You can't keep giving me the same crap and think like, oh, I'm supposed to buy it because you just gave me the same shit you gave me last year. Yeah. No. Exactly. I want something different. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go, you know what I mean? You can make a steak the same way, but sometimes you want to add a different seasoning. You want to add a different flavor. You want to try something new. Mm-hmm. I'll put it like this. A lot of people start at well done until you realize, oh, there's medium, well, medium, and then even medium rare. Like, you start testing the waters because you want to try something new. You want to see how juicy it is, how thick. And that goes back to music. You want it to have different flavors. You want your favorite artist, to tap into something new. Because at the end of the day, we all listen to music for different emotions. We all listen to vibes, but sometimes we listen to when we all feeling down, where we're feeling excited about something, where we feel like there's nothing else to go to, and we tap into the music because we feel like they're on the same wavelength as we are. You know what I mean? When we want motivation, this is what we listen to music. And you always tend to go to your favorite artist first to see what do they got. Yeah. But if they don't got nothing for you, you tend to withdraw yourself from that artist because you go like, damn.
Yeah, it's boring. It gets boring.
It's boring. I can't listen to you when I'm feeling like my girl is cheating or my girl is not with me no more. I can't go here when the fact of the matter is I'm losing somebody, and the fact that you're just talking about party, I'm popping pills. I can't tap in with you.
I think, you know what? A lot of this is about ego, to be completely honest. And Facts. The way people are, some people don't want to be seen. I don't want to be seen like I'm crying about some girl. Man, I don't want to be seen like I'm struggled. I don't want to be, you know what I'm saying? I want to be cool. You know what I'm saying? I want to be like Castanet. I want all the kids to love me. You know what I'm saying? I want to be like DDG. You know what I'm saying? I want to be so at the end of the day, I honestly feel like, again, I know I've said this ad nauseum, but once the mentality changes, and not because it doesn't start in the music, it starts in the people. Yeah. Once that mentality changes, it's like, fuck it. I'm tired of trying to keep up with y'all niggas. Y'all keep pushing the line. Y'all want to stay this way forever. Y'all don't want to grow up. Y'all don't want to change. Once people start having those conversations outside of the music, it will change in the music. Sure. Right? And I feel like, again, like, there's nothing wrong with being marketable and a candy bar spitter. But at the same time, like, man, what are you leaving here?
Yeah.
And I'll tie this into some new stuff that I've been doing a lot of research on poetry again. Like, I'm trying to get back into my poet bag because I feel like it's gonna help me as an artist.
Yeah.
But in poetry, there's all types of poetry. Mm-hmm. There's really deep poetry. There's some really deep poetry that are this big. There's some simple poetry that is this long, you know, however many stanzas. But at the end of the day, if you get something from it, you get something from it. And if you don't, you don't, right? So in the poetry world, like, you could have a fucking 2 stanza thing and it's not about anything, but it's still art. It's still beautiful. Just the way they wrote it, the way they maneuvered the letters around, and then the rhyme pattern, the scheme, whatever, the count on it all, like, you can still be creative. So it can just still be as deep and impactful as the poetry that makes you dig deep in yourself and think and be like, man, I never thought about it like that before. I could have a poem about rain that makes you think about rain just the same way as I make you think about the human condition.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so artists, I feel like, once we remember we are artists, we are poets, we are creatives, conductors of ears and sound. Like, once we remember that, I think people, and not just people, but the industry on some level will change. The way people consume music will change. The way we think about the type of legacy we're leaving is going to change. Because I swear, I'm going to be 50, maybe 60, and I'm going to be like, man, you ever hear about the rapper Lil Durk? Because there ain't nobody else to talk about. Because I definitely ain't putting nobody on the 6ix9ine. There's this guy named 6ix9ine when I was young, and he called himself the King of New York. No, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Or I'll talk about Kendrick, or I'll talk about Cole. But at the end of the day, man, it's about Freddie Gibbs. You know, whatever. But anyway, off of that, man, because we've been in that bag for a minute, boy. We was digging deep. It's like you know the Santa Claus bag on Santa. Yeah,
that keep going. Yeah.
Pull out. Yeah, boy. We could dig in that thing all day long, man.
That's a fact.
But anyway, man, how long we been going? What's the time limit looking like?
We over an hour. We're good.
Yeah, I think we good. You think this is I think we did great for our first solo podcast.
Yeah, you know me without Dylan. We did good.
Yeah, I think we did good. We ain't got no bars. They'll guess the bars for y'all tonight.
Not tonight.
But what I will tell you to do is go stream some Archie. ARCHIE on all the platforms. Look up Archpocalypse on TikTok. Look up Archpocalypse on Instagram. Look up Archpocalypse on X. What else? YouTube coming soon, because we gonna keep it rolling. Look up Lyrically Acclaimed on wherever you get your podcast
from Apple, from Spotify. Look up Lyrically Acclaimed there. Also look out for Ill-Minded Tazz on Instagram. Ill-Minded Tazz, on Instagram and even on TikTok. I'll be posting more there too. And check out for the coming soon. YouTube is coming soon with more of my stuff and YouTube like that. But you know,
at the end of the day, man,
they gonna hear it.
They gonna hear it. The ones who fuck with it gonna fuck with it. The ones who don't. It is what it is. I'm just glad you tuned in.
Once again, thank you for tapping in with Lyrically Acclaimed Podcast. I'm your host, Ill-Minded Tazz, and I'm with your boy Archie. We'll catch y'all again.
Peace.
The way I spit hits harder than an hour later. Y'all soon